Hi, my name is John Wood. I'm one of the co-founders of Kitchen Cut, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to cost your recipes with complete accuracy and the importance of doing this as well. So first of all, we're going to look at taking all your recipes, the process in how you sort of do those costings, and if you're costing recipes or menus. Really, it's about taking all your recipes ingredients. Then it's about calculating a wastage, and this is through production or part of the process of either when you're cutting or trimming products as well. So there's an element of wastage you need to allow for that in your production of these dishes. And then it's to calculate the cost of each of those ingredients, allowing for that wastage. And then it's the cost of each of the sub recipes which are in the dish as well. So if you've got a sauce or a particular product you want to add to it, or it's a combination of sub recipes that make up one particular dish, they all need to be individually costed. And then you need to calculate the food costs or the gross profit percentage of those dishes. And then you need to actually calculate the monetary value of that gross profit as well. So how much money you are making out of each of those dishes. And take each of those dishes in the menu and then applying the same calculations will then give you a menu calculation. This is a very long process when you're trying to do this manually. And do you have time to do this? It's very typically a lot of places will look at this and look at their costings and say, I don't have time really to do this properly. I just don't have time to do this manually. And it's really difficult from any restaurant or hotel or any catering business to be able to do this easily on a daily basis when you're writing new menus or even on a basis every time you develop new dishes. A lot of people say, why should I bother? What's the point in costing recipes and costing my menus? And many chefs and cooks and caterers and restaurateurs and hoteliers don't even cost their menus. And they just, see where they are. They try to keep the cost down. They try to buy well and try to sort of manage their sort of food cost and their gross profits in that way. And typically, it's a very difficult, having been in the business and worked a lot for many years and worked with many people as a consultant. The people that do this sort of get away with it. Some months are better than others. Some weeks are better than others. Some years are better than others. And typically now with prices always on the increase, it's very, very rare that a product price goes down. This is just going to become tougher and tougher. And those that do costings, many would take just the protein cost. They'll add a little bit more to it. They'll multiply it by 4 or 5, depending on their desired target, or if there's a tax element, they need to add to their pricing. And that, they'll give a rough pricing of what it is, and then maybe add a little bit of a cushion if they want to as well. Which again is not a bad way of doing costings, and many people do this quite successfully. However, there's a high level of inaccuracy with that, and it is quite difficult to manage that on a regular basis. Some people will cost their recipes and they'll actually go through the process of putting together some costings in an Excel spreadsheet or writing it down or calculating it with a calculator. But unfortunately, with products increasing, as I mentioned, and sometimes on a weekly or monthly basis, normally as soon as you've written your recipes, within a couple of weeks, they're out of date, and typically they're not achieving the margins you originally set out to look at them. And whether you're doing it roughly or whether you're applying the 4 or 5 multiplication point, if you're not managing this on a regular basis and having something linked to your updated prices, your margins, they may be good initially when you do that calculation, whether it's a rough one or whether it's a more accurate one by trying to sort of write everything together. The problem with every other way of doing it, or doing it this way, is typically it'll be out of date. So, and very quickly in most cases. And some with proteins, particularly with, more volatile proteins like, salmon and fish and seafood. And again, with lamb and poultry, there's got some huge fluctuations that are happening worldwide. It's very difficult to keep on top of those costings. And then people that do this, as a sort of rough guesstimate, they're surprised, when each month is different and their food costs or gross profit margins are showing different figures each month. And people are don't really know how to get on top of it. And typically, when there's a particularly bad month, it's all too late. When the P&L comes back and it's saying that your food cost margins are over, or your gross profit margins are not achieving what you want it to be, people just typically apply the handbrake and start looking for cheaper products, start looking for cheaper ways of doing things, so they can claw back some of that cost they've lost during the month. And by doing that and buying cheaper products, because everyone can buy cheap, what happens is you're punishing your customers. You're giving them a substandard product. And buying cheap is extremely easy. You can buy frozen very cheap, and you can buy a substandard product, from what you're normally using, a lot cheaper than you're paying at the moment. But typically, the only people that suffer out of that is the customer. And really, that's down to the inability to manage food costs. Normally, the customer is the first person that suffers. So really, it's about asking yourself: are you being proactive? Are you being reactive? And are you planning ahead and putting in systems and processes that you can actually then make sensible, calculated decisions on how you cost your menus and what you need to charge your customers as well. Here's a test case. This is an example. I've rounded up the figures, but this is an exact example of one of our members that we were working with and continue to work with. This restaurant, it takes £15,000 per week net of tax, which is a £780,000 business. So it's a good business, but not huge. This is a restaurant example. So 1% of that value is 7,800. So if you can improve that by 1%, you can have an additional 7,800. This particular member, through using Kitchen Cut, improved this by 3%. So really, they added another 23,400 to their bottom line, which is a lot of money. A lot of people think, if you save that sort of money, that's great, and there's lots of things you can do with that. You can employ another member of staff, or you can buy a great piece of equipment, or you can just, put it as part of your profit or the dividends for your owners. With an average, people that are not achieving that is understanding what you have to do to get that sort of money. And with most businesses, some varying, hugely, but with restaurants varying around about sort of 20% net profit, to actually get that sort of revenue and make that some more profit at the bottom, you've got to turn over another $117,000 or pounds or euros to just claw that back. And a lot of people don't realize the impact of what, food costs and those small percentage changes throughout the year is actually worth. So it's worth looking at your business and seeing what that value is and seeing what difference you can make by using proper calculations that are linked to your prices, so you can make sensible, calculated decisions. But the fact is, it's easier to save on costs than increase on your revenues. As we all know, you're all in the business and you're trying to drive more revenues. And in some cases, when you're full, you're full. You can't do more covers. You may be able to encourage people to spend more when they're in your restaurant, or in your catering business or whatever business you're running. But easily, it's a lot more easy to actually reduce your costs and manage those costs without sort of affecting what your product is, as I mentioned earlier on. And Kitchen Cut can help you do both. We can save on your costs. You can review this on a regular basis. And we have a number of consultants and tools and calculators that can also look at increasing revenues. And what we try to do in Kitchen Cut is not just be a solution for one thing, but be a solution for many things. And we're constantly developing new and interesting ways that you can actually improve your business. You could drive top line revenues. You can also then manage the food costs and your margins. And we also look at payroll. We also look at many different parts of the business. And typically, though Kitchen Cut is a food cost and menu calculator, it also helps you manage your margins and your stock control, and also lets you have a look at menu engineering. There's many different features in there that can also make you think about your business, about increasing revenues as well. So in conclusion, what you need is accurately costed recipes, sub-recipes and menus. This is extremely important to any business, and accurate is not just at one particular moment in time. It's about doing this on a regular basis and having that automatic link to your pricing, so you don't have to re-cost every single recipe. It does. You want something that does that automatically, which Kitchen Cut does, and I'll show you a little bit of that in a second. And through having those automated prices updates to all your recipes is crucial. So at any given time you're looking at your live costings on whether your recipes or sub recipes or menus, and it's really important to have that as part of a sort of business plan going forward. And typically, this is it's a very labor intensive process, and can be, when you're trying to do costings manually and you're trying to get all your prices together and you haven't got those automatic links to your prices. So the process of costing can be very laborious. And what we do at Kitchen Cut, and we'll continue to develop new ideas and new features that we're adding to it, is we want to reduce the time that you spend doing this. And with a chef and being a chef myself, for 25, 30 years, it's really important. Chefs are working in the business because they like working in kitchens, and restaurateurs like working with their customers. And where we should be is actually in our kitchens, developing new dishes, working with our customers, spending time with them, and not spending time in the office. We need to do the administrational tasks that we have to carry out. But if we can reduce that time that was spent doing this, which Kitchen Cut does, you can save not only on your food costs, you can also save on your payroll costs and the time that you're spent doing this. And this will save you thousands every single year. And this is straight to the bottom line. This, on most businesses, we're saving huge amounts, anywhere between 3 and 5% on the food cost margins. And people are coming back to us and saying we just saved so much administrational time this year, which gave us a lot more time in our business and it made us work a lot more effectively. And, it's going to reduce stress in the business, having to do things and having to get this costed and trying to do that and trying to manage your business and trying to deal with day-to-day operational constraints and challenges that you're being thrown. It's, if you can take some of that away, you can, be a lot less stressful and it can be a lot more enjoyable as well.